All right, everyone, welcome back to another Event Rental Systems Knockerball tutorial. This is tutorial number 2, where we're going to look at editing and adding categories and items into our system. And again, this is number 2, so if you haven't watched the first tutorial on entering your company information, please do so now, and then you can come back and take a look at what we're going to do in this tutorial. All right, let's get started. Whenever I work within the system, I always want to have my live site open, and that gives me the ability to switch back and forth so that I can make sure any changes that I make within my control panel that behavior is correct on the live site and to what my clients are going to see. The easiest way to do that when you're sitting at your home page or on any page in your control panel is just click this logo here, and you'll notice that open a new tab with our live site. All right, so let's hop back over to the control panel. And again, this tutorial is going to work with categories and items. Now, you guys in the Knockerball community, your accounts are going to be a little bit different than what our general inflatable customers will receive. And what that means is we've gone ahead and we've populated a few things for you, like some categories and some items that have the general equipment that you guys will be renting out. You, of course, can add more and add as many things as you like, but we gave you a bit of a starting point. So to get there, we're going to click on Admin, Products, and then here we see our categories and items. Now, the hierarchy here in the system is items live within categories, of course. So let's start there. We're just going to click here on categories. And now this brings up the list of categories that are already programmed into our system. Now, like I said, we've given you guys a few to start with. So we've got our Knockerball Rentals category here, interactive units, concessions, and then we have a hidden category. Let's very quickly go across what we see here. So we've got the category names. We've got the thumbnail of the category image here. We've got the profile, the schedule profile that the category is attached to. Again, that's something we'll look at a bit later. For now, you can leave everything as is and it'll be just fine. Display, do we want our category displayed to the public or not? This shows us at a glance which ones are, which ones aren't, like this hidden category, and which ones are available by or visible by administrators only. Here we've got our copy button. This essentially just lets you duplicate an entire category. And then we've got our delete button, which of course deletes the entire category. So let's look inside this guy here, Knockerball Rentals, by clicking on it. And we'll start at the top. So we've got the name of the category. We simply click here and fill that in or edit it if you need to from one that's already created. We've got the description, and this is the description of the category that your clients are going to see when looking at this category on your website. Okay, moving down, we've got the actual picture for the category, and as I mentioned, we've got this stuff pre-populated for you, but feel free to edit any of them and change them any way that you'd like. To do so, you simply click right here on the picture, and you can use a picture that's already been uploaded. If you happen to have uploaded some earlier, they should show up here. If you need to upload one, you just click this Choose File button, and it opens up a local browser on your computer. I'm going to go ahead and close this because we want to leave this guy here. Again, our schedule profiles. Once you get some of these built out and understand a little bit more about what they are and how they work, this is where you can change them. For now, you can just leave it at main. Okay, back to display. Now, again, as I mentioned, we have 3 options. Display set to yes means everybody can see this on the front end on your site and in the store, okay? If you change it to no, it'll still be here. It won't delete anything. Everything will be here. It just won't be visible in your store. So any items that you have in this category, they won't show up either because the category is not there, okay? And then, of course, the last one is admin only. And this does exactly what it says. Anyone that logs into the control panel with administrative level permissions can view the category in the system in the front end. Okay, a very important one here. Let's set that back to yes. Setup fees. Okay, What the setup fees are additional fees that you apply to items based on a surface type. So let me give you a little bit of an explanation on this. Let's say that you're renting a little bounce house, an inflatable jumper, and depending upon whether that's going on grass or going on dirt, you might have an additional setup fee. And you'll see that we've got some pre-built setup surfaces in here, but let's say that it's going onto grass. Now that means that we may have a tarp that we're going to put down, and we may have some additional stakes that we need to hold that tarp down that we wouldn't have on a different type of surface, let's say. Okay. Now, the difference between the setup fees here in the category and the main setup fee area that's within the ERS system is that main setup fee area is global. So if I say that anything that I have that gets set up on a grass surface, there's an additional $30 fee. If I do that in the main area within ERS, it's going to apply a $30 fee to an order one time. If I do that here, everything that's in this category will get that fee. So let's say, to break that down, we have a party that somebody's going to rent 10 jumpers for. And if we were going to use that grass setup fee in the global main setting, it would charge an additional fee of $30 for that entire order of 10. If we set the grass setup fee here at the category level, it's going to add that $30 fee to each one of those 10 jumpers that they rented. That hopefully makes sense. So again, the setup area within the ERS system is going to be a global one-time fee. You kind of think of it that way. Whereas when you set it here at the category level, every item within the category, each item's going to have that additional fee applied to it at the time that the order is created. And again, we give you some of these setups here already made for you. You can add as many as you'd like, and add any price to those that you'd like. Okay, our pay rate. When you enter a cost here, this is what you're going to pay your driver for delivering any of the items that live within this category. Taxable, pretty self-explanatory. The items are taxable or not in the category. Okay, browse template. We're not going to worry about this one. This has to do with the way that your site is constructed. You guys should all have responsive websites built out within our system. If you didn't for some reason and you had the older static or classic style site where you chose a template and that template was applied across your site on all pages, this is where you'd be able to browse and select a template for this particular category and all of the items that live within it. All right, moving on down the list. We've got our meta info here. Now, we've got title, keywords, and description. These are all for SEO. Description here is for SEO purposes only, not this description up here, which is what your clients will see regarding the category itself. Again, all three of these guys, title, keywords, and description, under meta info, are for SEO purposes only. Something that you guys should do some research on, and you should absolutely populate these fields. This is something we can do for you as a service. If you'd like, you can contact us and we can let you know what that's all about. However, I highly suggest that you guys educate yourselves on SEO best practices and fill in this information on your categories, your items, and your web pages. Okay, last but not least, we have our parent category. This is, of course, within the hierarchy of categories in the system. If you wanted this particular category to live within another category, we would choose that parent category here. And all that would do is, again, move this category into or underneath the other category here that we chose, instead of this category living at the base or root level. Down here we've got our submit and save buttons, and if you recall from the last tutorial, when we click on submit, It saves all of our changes and brings us back to the last page that we were on, which is the category list page. If we click Save, that's going to save all of the changes and all of the work that we've done, but leave us on this page. And then we've got some view buttons down here, and they're self-explanatory. If you wanted to view other items within the system that have this same category, Knockerball Rentals, just click the button there. If you wanted to view any categories that had a parent category of Knockerball Rentals, so if you had other categories living within this category, you could click this button here to see those. So that's pretty much it for the categories. It's very, very simple. And next, we'll move on to the items. So to do that, we're going to go back up to our products button here, and we're going to click on items. All right, so what we're looking at here is a list of the items that we have already in the system, and you guys should see the same. Now, I also have this category, Knockerball Rentals, open on our live site over here. And so we're seeing those actual items right here and what they would look like to a customer while looking into the shopping cart. Okay, so let's pick one of these guys and we'll take a look inside and see what they're kind of made of. Okay, so what we've got here, this item is a 4 Knockerball package. Okay, so when this item is chosen, and if we hop back over here, this guy is the one right here. 4 Knockerball package. Again, when this is chosen, they're getting 4 physical Knockerballs for the price of $250, and they can add to cart here. All right, let's hop back over here and see how this is built out. So again, we've got the name of the actual item and the item type. Now again, this is a group of 4 physical items, so it's put together as a package. If it were just a single Knockerball, we'd choose regular, and that would just be a single item. Again, this is a package, so it's inclusive of multiple items. Now you also see that we have shared here, and what shared is if you have another company located in your city or in your delivery radius, and they are also using ERS as their online rental platform, you guys can share items back and forth. That means to the end user, to the customer, the item looks and feels like you own it and it's on your site and it's available, as long as it hasn't been rented, of course. However, the other company that you're sharing items with, that item may belong to them entirely and not even be at your warehouse. But again, to the customer, it looks like it's yours. They can rent it through you and pay you, and then the other company will deliver that for you, or you can deliver that. You guys can work out the logistics on the back end. When items are shared, it's pretty cool because it can make you have a lot more inventory or seem like you have a lot more inventory than you actually do. And of course, the other company gets a little piece of that rental as well. You guys get to set up what that relationship looks like and what the revenue split is. And it's very simple to do within the system. That, however, is a tutorial for another day. Back to the item. All right, we have the cost here for this package, which is $250. We've got our contents. So the contents of this package are Knockerballs, quantity 4. We have some other items here that we can add, or settings, I should say, that maybe this package has a specific duration. We've got it spelled out here as a 2-hour rental, which includes 45-minute setup time, 75 minutes of gameplay. This is shown to the customer, but we can build specific settings out here for tracking of these sales, or these rentals rather, of these items on the back end. We can add more items by clicking this button here. If this package wanted to, maybe it included some chairs and a specific pump for the item, something like that. You get the idea. You can add those here. We've got the picture here for this package. It doesn't matter if it's a package or a single item. It works the same as the categories. If we want to change it, we just click here. We upload a picture that's already in the system, or we click here to open up a browser on our local system and pick a picture that we may have on our computer already. All right, moving on down, we've again got our description here, and this is what's going to show to the customer. So let's go back to the live site, and when we click this guy here, more info, and we scroll down, there's that description right there. 2-hour event rental, includes 45-minute setup, etc. And let's hop back over here. Moving on down, we've got a notes category. These notes are internal to us. So if we want a driver or maybe somebody in the warehouse to see some specific notes about this package, we can enter them in here. The category that the item lives within, we choose that here from this drop down. Again, scheduled profiles, we'll dive a little bit deeper into that in a different tutorial. For now, you can just, again, leave everything alone as is. Obviously, these are some settings that are specific to these items themselves. When you acquired as a company this item, maybe some items have a specific shelf life. After so much usage, they need to be repaired, or maybe they need to be replaced. So you can put your acquisition date in here and track that information. SKU numbers here. Any specific information about setup area. Maybe it requires a specific area or size to set this item up. You can put that information in here. Along with some of the other information. Does it require an outlet? Actual size of the item. Is a monitor required? Somebody to be there while this item is being in use. Specific age group for the items, that sort of thing. Most of it's self-explanatory. You get the idea. You guys can type any of that information in here that you need to track or make aware to other people, and all you need to do is tap save at the bottom of the page, and then that will be applied to the item. Okay. Additional reminders. So this is kind of like the setup fee area, where if we have any specific reminders, like if this is going to be set up on rocks, on a rocky surface, there's something that we need to learn and understand about that, and it's something more than just a quick notes field that we put in here. So when we choose an additional reminder here, it's going to give the system's going to provide more information to our delivery drivers or maybe our setup individual about if this item is set up on rocks. You can have default reminders that go out over everything, and you can add as many of these as you need in the system. Okay, moving on down here, we've got receipt reminders. Same sort of thing. When somebody receives the item, is there something we need to tell them about this when they take delivery of the item? Suggested add-ons. These are pretty cool. So this is the area where you're going to be able to conduct some upsells. So suggested add-ons, when a client goes through and they pick the items and they click add to cart, when they're going through that process and they're going to check out, if you have any suggested add-ons attached, that's when the system's going to tell them, hey, other people who have rented this also rented a snow cone machine, or also rented cotton candy machine, something like that. It's going to give you a chance to add some other materials, some other items like that, and upsell on this rental. All right, required add-ons. These are the same sort of thing as suggested. However, these would be mandatory add-ons. So let's say that anytime anyone rented a Knockerball from you, they needed to pump it up themselves. That pump was required and they needed to rent that through you. You could set up a pump in the system as an item and then make that a required add-on. And when they went through the checkout process, they would see, hey, since you're renting the Knockerballs, you have to get this item as well. You've got to get the pump. So that's where you would attach those required add-ons here that would show up during their checkout process. Driver pay rate, same as categories. What you're going to pay your driver for these particular items for them to make that delivery. Display to customer. All right. What this is the pricing information on the item. So right now we have it set to yes. And if we go back over to that item, we see the pricing here and we see add to cart. So they see the price and they're able to actually add it to the cart and check out. And that's what yes means on display. More so than the price, it's that they have the ability to actually add it to the cart and create the rental and reserve the item right now. If we change this to no, it won't show up at all. The item won't show up at all. If we change it to display only, something a little bit different is going to happen. So let me actually click save. Now we're going to go back over here and refresh this page and keep an eye on add to cart here when I refresh this. That's now gone. And now we see in place please call to reserve this item. And you'll actually see that, if we go back here, you'll actually see that the add to cart button's been removed at the main category level for the item, and this text has been put in here as well. And this is important if you have items that you would rather talk to the individuals in person, over the phone or in person before they conduct the rental. You can set the item to display only, so they can still see the price, they can see what the item is and all about it, but they can't reserve it unless they talk to you first. And you can have, this is what we call display mode. You can have this on one item, as you see here. You can have it on 5 items, 10 items, or every item that you own. There are no mandatory settings for that. So again, any item that you really want the customers to speak with you first before they rent it, you can set it to display mode. All right, let's move on down here. Taxable, again, self-explanatory, yes or no. Surface load options. So do we have any specifics that we need to let our driver know about the different surfaces that these items are going to be on? We can add that information in here so that everybody can see that. Shared cost. This is, if you recall when I was talking about sharing the items with other companies, this is where the cost goes in for the shared item. So what it's going to cost you to rent this out to another client. You may rent this for $250, but it's going to cost you $150 to rent it from the other company that actually owns it. Okay, so we've got our SEO information down here again. Same 3, title, keywords, and description, as you saw in category. Again, description here and title here are specific to SEO, search engine optimization, not the title up here and the description down in this area, only for SEO. Of course, we've got any extra availability rules, anything specific about this item and its availability, any rules that we set up in our system, we can apply those here. Again, this is something that you can dive a little bit deeper on when you get into your fast start, or of course just call our technical support team anytime and they can walk you through any of these settings once again. We have our submit and save buttons. Save, again, keeps us on the page while we're editing, but applies the changes that we've made. Submit applies the changes that we've made and then moves us back over to the main page that we were just on. And then of course we've got some specific view buttons down here, just like we did on the category page. If we want to see any other items that have the same contents as this item, or any orders that have this item on it already, we can click these little guys here. Okay, that's about it for the categories and the items themselves. I hope this has been beneficial. I know it was a lot of information to go through, and you guys should have a lot of these already set up for you, but you may want to tweak the pricing a little bit. You may want to play with the description and the pictures a little bit. And again, if you have any questions at all, call into our tech support team anytime. It is free for you. You can call them as much as you like, as much as you need, and they are an excellent group of individuals that can help you out. Alrighty, that's it for this tutorial, and keep an eye out for the next one. Take care.